Hi, I'm Paul Seal from codeshare.co.uk. I've been asked by Joe Zack from codingblocks.net to collaborate with him and do a video about Umbraco. He wanted to know a bit about it, and we're going to do this joint video, and it's going to be where he's learning a bit about Umbraco, how to use it, how to get it set up, and what cool features and things like that it's got. So let me hand you over to Joe. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Joe Zack. I am one of the co-hosts of Coding Blocks, and I try to do a couple other interesting things too. I guess that's up for debate. But I was really interested in Umbraco, and Paul's made a lot of really great videos on it. And they've been a little bit over my head, so I thought it might be cool to try and do a video that kind of combines the perspectives of someone who maybe doesn't know so much about it, who wants to know, paired with somebody who knows a lot about it. And so I figured we could kind of set things up, and he could kind of help me over some of the hurdles. And, I'm really getting a lot out of this video, just making it. So big thanks to Paul for helping me out here.
No problem. So I wasn't from the web side of things, so I hadn't done MVC, and I came into it. I learned MVC via Umbraco, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So that made me go off and learn MVC, and it's really good. I really enjoy using MVC and Umbraco, and they do play nicely together.
Yeah, I don't miss WinForms. So do I just kind of go new project?
Yeah, let's get started then. So best thing to do, new project. And
right.
You're going to want to do a web project.
All right.
C#. We've got to wait for your computer.
So I've got a little latency here. And I'm running 2015 Community.
Yeah, 2015 Community, that's free for anyone to install. So yeah, and that .NET Framework 4.5.2, that's spot on. ASP.NET web application. So just put it in your project folder.
All right.
Yep. CodeShare rocks.
Yep.
And you've got your create solution for the directory. And then you want empty, and you don't want to choose MVC or anything else. Just leave it as empty. Because if you choose the MVC, it starts putting all of its opinions in about scaffolding and things like that. You just want to keep it blank. Now, with the host in the cloud, untick that.
Okay.
We don't need that at the moment. Make sure we don't have authentication selected.
Okay.
So it looks like you're good to go.
All right.
Totally blank, yeah. And one of the good things about this way of doing it is you can just use Nuget Package Manager.
Great.
Maybe not everyone's heard of Nuget Package Manager, but I assume at least half the audience has. But you get that from the tools, and you can go to... how did you go to that, sorry?
I actually just right-clicked on the project and did it. Manage Nuget packages.
Oh, right, okay.
I didn't expect it to throw it in the middle here.
You can do it the GUI way, but I like to do it the Package Manager console way as well. But if you go... if you do the console,
all right,
then this way, I just type in install package.
Okay, and I forgot it's PowerShell, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Umbraco CMS. Umbraco, just one word, I think it is.
All right.
And it might care about capitals. I think it does, but I'm not sure. But if you give it a go, I think it's capital U, capital C.
Like that?
Lowercase m, lowercase s.
Oh, they did it right. All right.
And the install package, hopefully, is that going to work? Yeah. So it's going to pull down the latest version, 7.5.7. So doing it that way, it's going to pull the latest version. If you wanted to do a specific version, you can do that. So you can do space hyphen version 7 or something like that. If you just look for it on Nuget, you can go back to specific versions doing it that way. Or as Joe was showing you, you can actually use the manage Nuget packages for this project, and you've got the GUI way of doing it. But this way, I think I find most consistent. I have had some errors before. Maybe they weren't really related to the GUI, but I always like to do it this way.
Cool. And I see it's popped in a lot of dependencies here, and I can see the Umbraco stuff here at the bottom.
Yep.
And how do I say? I know I've asked you this at least a dozen times, but just for the record.
Yeah. For the record, if you come from where I live, in my house, we say Umbraco. Umbraco.
Okay.
So the emphasis on the But we've had contractors at work that say Umbraco. It's the same thing, isn't it? It means Allen key in Danish.
Okay. Yeah, my Danish is not so great, but I'll try to do my best.
Yeah. So if you give that a build,
Okay.
don't do a run, just build it.
I like how it tells you that right there.
Yeah, don't forget to build. Right, okay, so you've done that. Now, you can... So the next step is you need to set it up with a database. So that's got all the files that you need.
Okay.
So now you need to configure a database for it, because that's the main part of this content management system, is to work with a database. So if you just hit the run button, Microsoft Edge run.
Okay.
And I do it without debugging because at this stage I don't want to jump in and fix any problems with the installer. It's not my job yet.
All right.
I want to fix the problems later on with what I've done. I suppose when we do this one, we should install the starter kit that you get with it, just so you can see something for your time for doing it.
Cool. Okay.
This is worth noting that when you create this account here, name and email address and password, this is what you'll sign into Umbraco with on the admin screen.
Okay.
So if you do something like setup, actually, because there's another good reason is to disable this afterwards.
Okay.
But so if you did a dummy account, so just do setup and then setup at codingblocks.net and then password simple. Whatever simple password you want to use.
Oh man, you can see my password. Has to be at least Katie.
Yeah.
All right, so one of my favorites. All right.
But do your email of setup at Coding Blocks. It's not going to send an email to anywhere.
All right.
And then don't click install. Untick keep me updated.
All right.
Because you don't want that to go to there. And then customize. So this is a bit where you get to choose what sort of database you want to do. So
okay.
Choose that. So you can do Compact Edition or SQL Azure, MySQL, or SQL Server. The one that I always use is Full SQL.
Okay, and I've got SQL Express installed now. Does that count?
Yep.
All right.
Count that as Full SQL. So yeah, I'm using SQL Express 2014, I think, on my laptop.
All
So
right.
yeah, put in the server and the... Right, so have you got a database set up yet?
I have a database set up. No, I do not.
Okay, so just create a blank database.
Okay. So come over here.
And I always do a 2012 one. So when you get the choice for the options, just choose 2012.
All right. So, wait, what do we call the project? Code Share Rocks. Let me keep it consistent.
And do that for your username as well. Be nice and easy.
All
and then
right.
on the options tab.
Where's my username here? For owner?
You'll do your username after.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you close that and just start again, so new database, just put in the name, choose option 2012 database.
And where is that?
In the options on the left.
That's
I
see.
It. And then you get a drop down of the different versions. And that's all you need to do. Just then click on OK. So you've got an empty database to use.
So do I need to set up a user at this point?
No, you can do that after this.
Okay.
So click on OK. One thing we do want to do is if you right click on the server.
All right.
And you want to make sure that it's set up for SQL as well as integrated Windows. So go down to Properties.
And why do I want to do that?
Because we're giving it a username and a password on the custom configuration. So if you go back to the web window,
The web window.
the browser that you were on,
Okay.
when you were doing the install of Umbraco, you see you need a database name, a login, and a password. So this is what we're going to use.
Okay.
So we're going to set up a SQL user. Yeah.
I'll just do the same.
And so if you go back, now if you go back to the database,
okay.
you can you see you've got server authentication, you've got Windows authentication mode. You need to choose mixed mode, the second one down. So that will do both.
Right before I checked this, I was only allowed to do Windows authentication.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so that's really nice. So I can keep things separated and nice and secure, right?
Yeah, it trips people up. This one does, and I think you've probably got to restart your service as well for SQL Server now.
All right.
Yeah, so you just got a pop-up message telling you that as well.
Yep.
So you can do that. Just go into Services, look for SQL Server, and just restart.
All right. And for people watching the video, there's a little bit of latency because we're going across an ocean. So I think it's a little bit of disconnect, but we're getting through it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so that's done. So now you can go back to your database, your SQL Server Management Studio, and you want to just go onto Security, see under all the databases.
All right. And I've got CodeShare Rocks.
So right-click on Security lower down. You've got another security one. Keep going below that.
Oh, the other security. Okay.
There, yeah. Create a new login.
All right.
And then CodeShare Rocks and choose the SQL one. Put your password in and untick Enforce Policy.
Oh, good call.
That'll untick all three of them. That's it. And then user mapping on the left where you've got select a page. You want user mapping. If you not there, sorry. If you see where you've picked options before, on the left where it's user mapping you need.
Okay. Oh, right.
And then you need to find the database. And then reader, writer, owner.
Okay. Reader, writer, owner.
Yeah.
All right.
And then choose OK. So now you've set up your user, so you'll be able to configure that in the Umbraco install now.
Okay.
So if you go back to the browser, you should be able to put the username and password in and continue. It should accept that and move on.
All right. Go ahead and save my password.
It's attempting to connect to it now.
All right.
Probably already connected. I can't see.
Nope, it failed. Let me let's make sure I got everything right here. So
it looks like you've got something wrong. I can tell. Yeah.
And I don't think case matters, but just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's better. Okay, then. So you got past that bit. So you know that it connected to the database. So now you could start with a blank Umbraco project, or you could actually install one of their starter kits. And even if you started with a blank one, you could still install one of their starter kits from within the blank one that you create. But for now, let's choose Fano, the pink and black one.
All right.
And so this is their latest starter kit. The other ones are a little bit older.
Okay.
And so this will basically give you a site. It's filled with content and different document types and templates and things like that. It's good for you to be able to work backwards from, just to see how they've done it. Just some good little examples in there.
Yes, I'm seeing some nice tips here. I saw the thing about the Allen key and the Danish word. That was nice. And I also saw that it was 100% free and open source. So that's good to know. And do you know what kind of license it is?
I think it's MIT.
Cool.
All of the packages that we do, they're all MIT. So I think it is MIT actually. I think you can get it off GitHub as well, I think.
Cool. And that's one of the good ones. I know there's some that are pretty restrictive for like distributing and stuff, but and this whole product is really designed to be used by developers, so I imagine they wouldn't be too nasty with the license.
No.
Oh, this is my site.
Yeah, you're in your site now.
Wow.
So it's you've done it. You've set up your site, and if you go, this is like the getting started page that shows up when you first get on. If you go on the left nav, you've got some different sections that you can see. You've got content, media, settings, developer, users, members, and forms. First thing, before we do anything, I would now create a real user for yourself.
Okay.
And that way, then you can create your user with your username and password, and you can delete the dummy one afterwards, or you can disable it at least.
Okay.
So if you go back to Users tab, you'll need to right-click on the users. You see those three dots? Yeah, that's it. Create that.
Okay.
And then this is where you can create your own. Just check that you can type in the password without it being shown as well when it comes up.
Okay. All right. And I want to change my password.
So when you've done this, I'll explain a little bit about why I do this, but let's let you do that first.
All right. I do that right?
And set yourself as administrator. On the user type, it's just below your email address.
So what is translator for?
So you can send content pages and things like that off to be translated to other languages.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you can have different roles that don't have the same level of permissions as the writers or the editors and admins. So yeah, you want to set yourself administrator, choose your language.
All right.
And you want to tick all of the boxes lower down.
So all
on the
these
sections
guys.
tab.
Okay.
Yeah. Give yourself access to all of these, and then save that.
All right. I'll tell you, the one that jumped out at me immediately from after using WordPress for so many years is forms. I don't think I've ever seen any sort of forms tab there, so I'm excited to see what that's about.
That is brilliant. Forms is really, really good. So if I just explain what we did with the setup account. So if you log out now and then log back in as Joe, you'll see the problem here.
Okay, and let me figure out how to log out.
It's on the, if you see there's a gravatar at the top, yeah.
Okay.
So if you right-click on that and then log out, right, and log in as Joe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I wish I did the easier password.
Right, now if you go to users.
All right.
Open it out. You can't see setup.
That is interesting. How did that happen?
So setup is like a super user, like the underlying super user on the system. Now, if someone set that up and then they leave the business or whatever, then other people won't realise that their account is on there. So the best thing to do is when you create this, set it up with a dummy account, and then create yourself like you have done now. Log out again and log in as setup, and then you'll be able to disable yourself as setup, and then that's it. And then you don't have to worry about the setup account. So you see your icon up there.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that now.
Yeah. So it's a little bit long-winded, but I just wanted to just show you that.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because I would have forgotten immediately.
Yeah, your username on this is your email address that you put in.
Ah, okay. All right.
There you go. Right, so now you can go to users, open it out. You can see setup, and you can tick those two boxes, disable Umbraco access and disable user.
Okay.
So now you can save that, and then automatically you get logged out, and that's it then. So now you can log in as Joe. It was just Joe for yours. when it set it up for you, it just did it as your email address, but on yours, you get to choose what your username was.
Okay, and if I want to see what my website looks like to a normal user,
yeah, let's have a look.
do I just get rid of the Umbraco?
Yes, you do, but if I just show you how to get to that from within Umbraco, there are links to show the front end. So if you go into the content and you go to content, the first tab under your icon. Oh, actually, it's already shown up if you want to go straight to it. It's loaded in the tab.
In the tab. Oh, over here? Okay. Looks nice.
So it's loaded up your website. So this is using the content grid to populate all of this content. So it's really good, really flexible grid system. You can use like about 5 years ago, there was that 960 grid.
Yep.
Did you see about that one? So it's that sort of idea, but obviously Bootstrap took it on and made it better. And I think you can work with like a 12 column layout or a 16 column layout, but you can define what grid layout you want to use. And you can add rows with like 4 columns in that row, or just 2, or more over to the left, a third left and 2/3 right, and all sorts of things. So as it works with Bootstrap out of the box, and that's what this template's working with. We've got all the responsiveness and everything, so it's really, really quick to get up and running with the site.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how many pages it actually set up here. This looks nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
And it's even got blog set up separately?
Yeah, it's got a blog. It's got, I think on that Umbraco Forms page, it might have a video about Umbraco Forms. But if not, you can go to umbraco.com and look at the footer. I think there's a link for forms.
Okay. And I can actually see this in code. So if we look at Visual Studio, I can see where these files are.
So this is all content, what you're looking at, which is in the database.
Okay.
But you can see the files that are driving it, like the templates and the partial views and the things like that. So you can see those, yeah.
Can you check those out real quick?
Yeah, go and have a look. Obviously, reload if you give it a reload.
All right. It's not reload. There we
That's
go.
it. So, and then the reason why you can't see them is because you've not got it set where you can see invisible, the ones that are excluded from the project. If you show all files, that's the one. Now you'll see all of this stuff that got added. So you've got your scripts for your Fano project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Umbraco's got a lot of stuff that it needs. So you don't really edit any of that. That all just comes with the version of Umbraco, same with the client folder.
And I guess that's good to leave those alone in case I upgrade or something, right? Because any changes I would do in there could potentially get lost.
You can edit them, and I have done on some projects where I want to change some of the controls myself. So you can edit them. So I leave them excluded from the project, and they do get included in the build anyway. Even though they're excluded, there's some special build process that includes them when you want to deploy.
Okay, cool.
So if you right-click on, say, the master template and include that. Oh, you was just hovering over it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, right-click, include.
Okay.
And then close. If you notice that you've not got the nice syntax highlighting with the razor syntax yet, that's because when you open the file first, it wasn't included. If you close that file and reopen it, you'll get the syntax highlighting. There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, this is just showing you the basic structure of the master template. So there'll be a render body on there somewhere.
Yep.
There you go. So then any templates that inherit from that template, they will have everything above it and below that render body already rendered for them. And then the things on those templates, like the home, if you go to the home template, you'll see that that's got less things on it. It's just got the things focused for home. which is just the content grid. And again, it's not got syntax highlighting because you've not included it.
Right. Okay. There's blog posts.
So, yeah, there's all sorts. Again, it's powered by the grid. It's really powerful. It'd be good to go into Umbraco and have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm used to dealing with Bootstrap, so this is all very familiar with me, and it looks just like I expect. This is what I want HTML to look like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. And just like you'd be doing this in a MVC project anyway, so it's nice to be able to work with what you're familiar with rather than work. I don't like to slag off WordPress because I've never used it. You showed it me the other day. That's the first time I actually seen. But you just got more control over anything you want. You can just easily add new fields and use that on the page ever so easy.
Yeah, C# is my main language, so it's nice to be able to do that. And it's nice to be able to look at the project and actually kind of understand what's going on. And, it's speaking my language. It's really great.
Oh, good. So where you are now, this is the grid. So this is how it's rendering the grid for you. So you've got different versions of Bootstrap here. So you've got Bootstrap 2 Fluid or just Bootstrap 2 and then Bootstrap 3 Fluid and Bootstrap 3. So where this is relevant is if you go back to the home template, you can see where it calls to render the grid and then it says which one to use.
Okay.
Which grid partial to use. So if you see in the menu there, you've got Fano. So this one is going to use the Fano one. So they've customized it slightly, but I suppose it will be based on Bootstrap 3, but they might put their extra little bits of markup around it. But essentially, it just works out what the size of the columns are in each of the rows for that grid, and it applies the col XS12 and things like that, col MD4.
Very nice.
And you can create your own simpler ones, custom ones. It's really good just to use that as a base, and then you can see that if you wanted to use yours, all you had to do was copy that, rename it something else, and then where it calls render the content grid, you can just change the name to be the one that you just created.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, these hidden files, as soon as you mentioned that, I thought, oh man, it's not going to deploy, but it sounds like they've got a solution for that.
Yeah, so you do need to include most of these yourself, like the web files. Just don't worry about So if I tell you which ones to include then.
Sure.
If you include CSS, JS, and scripts.
Okay, CSS, JS, scripts.
Yeah, right-click and include them. App data, you would only really include that if you say you have some email templates in there.
Okay.
That's the only time you need to do that. Otherwise, these will get compiled anyway.
And how do you usually publish?
When I publish, I'll right-click, publish, and I choose File System.
Okay. Looks like
so
a couple other options here too.
Custom. Yeah, you've got other ones. You can go straight to Azure with it. But I do custom. I give it a name like UAT or Live or something like that.
Okay.
Obviously, UAT, User Acceptance Testing or Staging. And then you can choose, I don't do Web Deploy. I do File System.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Do you want to set this up now, or do you just want to?
Well, I'll just
right?
If you was looking, and then you can choose the target location.
Let's see here. So let me find my desktop. It's a little bit weird. Oh no, it's not. I forgot. I'm remoting into a real Windows box, so that is cool.
Yeah. So now, what I would do is I would have in the project you'd be looking for documents, Visual Studio 2015 projects. And then the name of your project that you created, Coding Blocks Rocks.
Are you talking about for where to deploy to?
Yeah, that's where I would pick it, and I would have a deploy folder within that, and then I would have one for UAT.
Sorry, what was the rest of the path?
Yeah, so Visual Studio 2015, then your projects.
Okay.
And then you're looking for the project that you created, which was CodeShare Rocks, and then in there, you've got your web. That's your web folder, and you've got your packages. So at that level, I would make a new folder and just call it deploy.
All right.
And then you can do separate ones for staging or UAT and live. So that'll create that for you.
Cool.
And then settings, you can carry on, but is it actually publishing now?
Looks like it's actually publishing. Yeah.
Right. So what else have we got then? So you've had a look at the files and the templates, the views, CSS. Yeah. It's just a normal web project, really, isn't it, for us?
Yeah, it's really nice. And I was curious about installing some of the packages, because I know that's the big value add for WordPress. It's what you always hear about is those cool plugins. So if I wanted to see some of those plugins that are available, where would I go?
Okay, so in the Umbraco backend, so you've got that tab open, go to that. And then if you go onto developer on the left-hand bar, that's it. And then there is a packages option, the first one. Click on packages, and you can search for a package. So if you're, there's all sorts of things. One of my favorite ones is called Archetype.
Archetype?
Oh yeah, yes, Archetype. That one's really good it allows you to create lists. Well, basically they're arrays. It's like a JSON array. So instead of a property just being a text box, which is a string or whatever, this actually allows properties to be rich, to be made up of other properties, things like that. It's just really valuable. So you can create lists of things within just one property.
Right.
I do go through that in some of my videos on my YouTube series, so you can see how to use that. So that's a really good one, and it's ever so easy to add it to the project. If you want, you could just install it now. If you go back on there. Go up to, where is the install button? Have you clicked it? Yeah, accept. Install package, and it will just add it for you.
All right.
That easy.
It says restarting. I guess it's reloading Umbraco?
Yes, I think so. When it says restarting.
All right.
It'll probably reload Umbraco.
Cool.
And then when you load up now, you'll see that you've got that package, and you can use it then. So it's for when you're creating your custom data types. So when I talk about data types, if I just show you what we currently use. So if you go to documents, in the settings tab.
Okay.
Yeah, settings tab, document types. And then have a look at the text page.
All right.
So that's just got one property on that page, and that is the content, which is using the grid data type. If we have a look at a different one, maybe the home page.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so this has got other things like text areas, text strings, file upload, all sorts of things like that. So you can add a property to that if you wanted to.
Okay.
So you could, let's do that. So maybe just add a text.
Link to Wikipedia.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, that's a bit random.
Yeah.
Everything I do has at least one link to Wikipedia.
And then just choose Add Editor. And what I tend to do on this one that pops up, I always go to Reuse. I never do Available Editors, because basically what that's going to do is create a separate data type at that point.
Oh, okay.
Rather than I just choose, it would create a custom one for you, but I always go to Reuse. If I want to create custom one, do that separately in the Developer tab. So you've got all these different types that you can pick.
Wow, that's cool.
So for simplicity, if you just choose text string.
All right.
And then submit that. You can validate it. You can do your own custom validation.
So, and it's a regular expression. Very cool. I'm not going to attempt to do that live.
No, but you could put it as a URL.
Oh, you're totally right. Look at that. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and you can even tweak it.
It's got one already. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So if we wanted to make it be a Wikipedia link, we could do that.
So that's when you would create your own custom. That's when I would do a custom data type.
Okay.
That would be a Wikipedia one, if you see what I mean. A Wikipedia text box.
And then I could reuse that.
Yes, you'd use it from the reuse tab then. So if you submit that, so this is going to be on the home, isn't it? And then hit save. Now when you go to content, you'll be able to add this in the content. So you go to content, go to home. And then in the content tab, you see those tabs on the right? You've got content, site, and properties up near just underneath the name home.
Yep.
Yeah. So you basically build up your tabs in that document types thing that you did. So you just added a property on content. So if you scroll down now, lower down on the content tab.
Oh, sorry, lower down.
Content tab. Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the bottom, you should see your... Was it on that? No, it's not there. Maybe it's on a different tab. Did you choose what tab to put it on?
I don't know. So you take a look at site. And, oh yeah, it's on site.
Yeah. Okay, but you did get a choice on document types, but obviously I forgot to tell you about that.
And that tells you which tab it goes on?
Yeah, it tells you what tab you're placing it on.
Okay.
So if you save and publish that.
Can I save without publishing?
Yes, you can save without publishing, and then you can... it's invalid as well because it's not a URL. Right,
good. All right, so if we save without publishing, I guess it puts in some sort of review status?
Yeah, so there's rollbacks and things like that as well.
Oh, wow.
You can go back to previous versions. You can choose preview, although at the moment it's not hooked up to the template, so it's not going to render anywhere. So I can show you how to quickly hook it up to the template.
Okay.
So if you go into... You can either do it in Visual Studio, or you can even do it in the on the browser as well. You can edit the home template.
I like Visual Studio.
Yeah, so I'm the same. So if you go over to Visual Studio, and then you go to the home template.
All right.
So as we remember, it just had that. So a really quick way to do this now is to either under the grid or after the grid. It's up to you.
Okay.
Also, just before you do, it might be worth getting IntelliSense up. So if you close this and then include it and then reopen it.
Okay. Let's see. Go.
That's it. And then you can reopen it. Right, that's better. So if you just do current page.get property value. And then if you put in, you want the alias of that field. So it might be worth checking back just so I can show you where you find that.
Okay.
So, and that would be in settings. And then in home. And you can see there, it's got a padlock next to it.
All right.
That's the one. You can click the padlock to unlock it if you want. If you did need to edit it, but it's not wise to edit it. But I sometimes use it just to copy and paste it.
Makes sense. All right.
So it's got a convention of camel casing anyway. So in theory, you could work it out yourself, but
okay, cool.
It's always best to check. So that should render. No, you don't need to rebuild. So if I've told you the right syntax, you should just paste that text at the bottom. There you go. So it's pasted it on the page.
There it is. Very cool.
Obviously, you can turn it into a link or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And there are other controls that you can do for links, like related links, which allows you to pick. It allows you to pick a page on the site or enter an external URL if you want to. And it also allows you to choose to open it in a new window or not, what the caption is for that and things. There's all sorts of more involved controls. That was just a text box.
Okay. Well, speaking of Visual Studio, I would love to see how to do some real like custom code. That to me is the real value of Umbraco, is that I can leverage my knowledge as a .NET developer to do something that would not be easy for me to do in something like WordPress.
Yeah. What would you like to do custom code? Do you want to try doing the Slack bot message, or did you want to try using my password generator? Should we try the password generator first?
Yeah, that sounds good. And that one's easy to find. And so I guess we could just start with going to Nuget, right?
Yeah, so I did a package. I put it on Nuget, and it's just called password generator, capital P, password, capital G. So it's really easy to remember. And I've tried to build it a bit like the random class.
Install password.
All right. Yeah, I tried to build it a bit like the random class. So if you're used to using the random class, so like, it's not dim, is it? That's VB, but random R equals new random, and then R.next to get your password, to get your random number. Well, this is essentially the same sort of way of using it. So if you just go to, so now you've added it to it, you can just start using it actually. But it might be good if I'll show you how to create your own page to hold this, rather than just sticking it on one of those. So if you go into Umbraco, one thing to remember with Umbraco is the templates are related via a database table. So you need to create templates in Umbraco.
Okay.
But partial views, so they're the views, but partial views, they can be created in Visual Studio first if you wanted to, things like that. So yeah, you go to templates and you want to create one underneath the master so you keep the outer structure of it. So just click on the dots, create, and then just do password generator. So this will just be the template for that purpose. Save that, create that.
Can I do a space here, or is that...
You possibly can. I try not to. So for templates, I don't do spaces. But for document types, you can do spaces.
I try not to do spaces just because I've been programming a long time, so I know weird things happen.
Yeah, I'm the same. That's why I stay away from it. But the reason I do spaces on document types is because I want to keep the convention of the camel casing. So I do put the spaces in, and it automatically makes the aliases for these document types have the camel casing, because I've seen it where it just does it all lowercase otherwise. So we've got a template. Let's leave that for now so you can save that. I think it's probably already saved when you created it. And then just create a new document type. So click on the dots next to document types up there.
Document types. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just above, yeah. One without a template, because you've already created a template. If you hadn't, it would automatically create one with the same naming for you. But I like to have more control myself with these things. Just call this password space generator. At the top, you enter in the name. I keep pointing at my iPad. It's not really going to help you, is it?
No problem.
Yeah, and you want to associate it with the template. So this is its way of doing its routing. So if you see on the right templates on that menu.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just choose default template, and then you'll be able to pick password generator.
Okay.
And then you can save.
All right, I like that. It shows you the shortcuts down here. I'm a little scared of the shortcuts.
Yeah.
Oop, I clicked them. Nice feature. I'm scared of it, though.
So, also, just while you're here, you can choose your own icon for this document type. So where it's got password generator at the top, where you put the name in, go back, if you come off that.
Okay.
Yeah, where you put the name password generator up there near the top bar. To the left of that, you've got an icon.
Oh, wow, that's
and then
nice.
You can just choose all these different icons and have different colours for them as well.
Got to do the skull. It's for security.
Yeah. Save that.
All right.
Right, so now we've got a document type, we've got a template. We just need to be able to create this in the site. So if you go to home, you want to allow this document type underneath home. So click on that. So click home and then you click permissions. And that is up next to templates.
Okay.
And then you do add child and you can pick password generator.
All right. And so we could get rid of the landing page, right? Or, it's allowed.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Okay. What would happen if I removed the landing page?
It wouldn't be able to create more. Or if you tried to save one that was already there, it's probably best to delete the pages that are using that first of all before you disallow it.
Right. Okay.
But you could do. So if you save that.
All right.
And then the next thing to do is just create the page in Umbraco. So in content, find the home page, right click on the home page and create
A password generator.
Password generator, that's it. And then at the minute you've not put any tabs or properties on there because you didn't need to. You can choose a template, but it's got a default option to have that template anyway. So you can leave it at that, and because it's already assigned to a default template, it will already pick it for you.
Okay.
So again, if you enter the name of the page, it's up to you what you want the name to be. Might be good to say password generator or something shorter, PG.
I like PG, all right.
Yeah, and then save and publish.
And I like that. So you can publish parts of pages separately. Is that right?
So you can set that to be released at a certain time. So James from Cynical Developer, after our chat on the podcast, he went off and created his own site, and now he can just publish pages at the certain time when the podcast goes live. So he's got Libsyn for his podcast, and he's got Umbraco for his site. So he's timed it to publish at a certain time for all of these. So he's set up all his pages for the interviews he's already done.
Very cool.
And they can just...
I was thinking it was really nice. Sorry, we got this latency thing going on. I was just thinking there's some really cool things going on here, and it's really cool that I can go view the source, like things like how to reload the website from within the website, or how it's doing the scheduling in ASP.NET. Like, that's really cool stuff. That's it's good that you can go find a reference implementation for.
Yeah, it is. It's really powerful. You can unpublish the page as well. So if you've got something, so like maybe an article or a job. So if you're advertising a job only for so long and it expires after a certain date, you can make it unpublish after that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really good. One thing to note though is to use the publish at, you need to use the save option, not the save and publish.
Okay.
And to use the unpublish at, you need to save and publish, not just save, if you see what I mean.
Oh man, I'm glad you're here. All right, yeah, that makes sense.
And then because you've saved and published, you've got a link to document now. So you can just, on any of these pages, you can just use that link to document and go straight to the front end. You see that last one in this page? Over to the right?
Yes.
Under the template choice, click on the link. That opens up the page for you on the front end. You're in preview mode, just click to end that if you're not already.
Okay.
So all you've got here is you've just got the header and footer that you picked up from the master template, and you don't have anything on your password generator template at the moment.
Right, okay.
So now we could use the password generator Nuget package to put something in there. Just to every time the page reloads, you can get it to reload with a new password.
Okay, so I need refresh because it probably popped some stuff in here, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got your template there, if you include that.
Go ahead and close all those guys and grab this. All right, there we go.
And if you want the IntelliSense again, just include it.
That's right.
Probably be handy with the password generator.
Sounds like if you're working with Umbraco, you do a lot of that.
Yeah, well, usually I'm not creating lots of template. I'm usually working with the ones that I created at the beginning, if you see what I mean.
Uh-huh.
When I set out the structure of my site, and then I include everything within views and everything in the folders that I've already said. So now you've got that, you can start adding to it. Now, with it being MVC, I would normally just do it model, view, and controller way, but you can, within this, you can actually do some code at the top, set some variables if you want to, or anywhere within the page really, just using that @ sign, and you can start using your code, and then you can use the @ sign later to render it out within the markup.
Okay.
So to know how to use this, it might be wise just to nip over to the page, the GitHub page.
All right.
For it. So if you go to password generator, one word, that's it. And then if you click on the project site underneath the date on the left, this has just got a quick example of how to use it. And there's a few different ways you can use it. Just a really simple way like you do on the random, if you're just doing a random.
Uh-huh.
Or you can do it with a bit of chaining as well. So you can, fluent usage, if you scroll down.
Oh, that's
so
really nice.
So they can say include numeric, include uppercase, special. You can tell it the length and things like that. So that one further down, a length of 128.
Uh-huh.
That one's got the length. It's got special characters and lowercase and upper.
All right, cool. Let's do it. All right. So
and then
there we go.
That's it. It's that will generate a new password every time it reloads.
All right, cool. And will it actually display the password, or do you need to do something special here?
So to display it, you just need to probably just put a P tag in or something lower down. Okay. And then inside that, you just do @password.
I actually haven't worked with MVC in a while. Do I need brackets here?
All right. No, that's fine.
Okay.
That will work like that. If you was going to do a conditional statement or something, it'd be good to do the brackets. Or if it was going to be alongside like an apostrophe or whatever, I usually do brackets.
Well, I like explicit, so again, pop those in there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That should be it, right?
That should be it. Yeah, that's it.
All right, looking good.
And the models folder's there now. So it's probably either done it or it is doing it. So we should be okay now. We've got different namespace, hopefully.
Okay.
We're not using the same password generator one.
Right.
So fingers crossed.
All right. I refreshed wrong one.
Come on, it can't. It's not
hey, look at that.
There we go.
All right, awesome.
So if you just keep refreshing, you'll just get different passwords each time. So you'll probably be able to use the options now.
And when you say options, you mean?
On the IntelliSense, where you do include this, include that.
Okay.
Set the length.
So we said, I only want lowercase, and I only want numbers. Can you put a number in here? You say like 5 lowercase or anything?
No, I haven't done that. If you want to contribute to the GitHub project, you can if you want to do that. Clone it and fork it or whatever they say.
Yep, cool. I keep forgetting I don't actually have to build most of the time. So there we go. Only numbers and lowercase. That's really nice. And what was the minimum for Umbraco was, I believe, 8.
I think OWASP says 10 or 16, I think. But yeah, on the settings of this, you can't do less than 7, I think. Less than 8.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that's really nice. And I like that we're able to do custom code, and it's just right there. In a perfect world, we'd probably set up a model and fill out that M and the C. But it's nice to be able to do something so quickly. We just have to be careful with naming things the same as Umbraco. So that's
same as the document type.
Yep.
If you just go to codeshare.co.uk, there's a link to password generator on the nav. If you want to see that with some tick boxes for the options, you can, and the length as well, you get a choice on the top right there. You can use this, and it uses Ajax post. You just click that, it'll just keep getting the new password each time. So this is what I use for my passwords nowadays.
Oh, nice. And this is actually an Umbraco site, isn't it?
Yeah, I built this site in Umbraco, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So, that just shows you can use those tick boxes and use as a model and a view and a controller
to
render it properly.
My last question here was actually just now that we've got a site and it's doing some custom stuff and we set up some packages, what am I looking at for hosting if I wanted to take this and actually put it up on the internet somewhere?
So if you go, on this site here, if you go /hosting, there is, I use EUK host. Yeah, if you just change that /hosting.
Okay.
I use EUK hosting for mine. I think this will take you to their site because this is the one I always tell people about. Uh-huh. So you can do all different plans. So you can do, you can have your own virtual private server, or you can have like a shared server. And if you think about it, you might need a SQL database, or you could do the compact edition and not need a SQL database because it will just run inside the app data folder. So you've got all different options, but they're quite cheap. I was running on one with my own virtual server for about £20 a month, and that was allowing me to do multiple sites. I could do a load of different sites on there, loads of Umbraco sites. I've upgraded it slightly recently because I wanted more space and more power on the server. But something like this is really good. But I know you can do cheaper ones like GoDaddy.
Yep.
You can host it using Plesk. So you can even use Plesk to do your server hosting and what have you as well.
So I don't have to sign up for Umbraco hosting, right? I could just any ASP hosting.
Yeah, that's it. It's just it's an ASP.NET website. So all it's got to do is at least .NET 4.5. And if you're going to use the SQL Server, you want to be able to have that as well. Or, as I say, compact edition. But yeah, just think of it as a normal .NET site. There's nothing outside of that, really.
And I've got a lot of stuff to play with. I'm really excited about forums, checking that out. Just all these tabs are filled with really interesting things. And I'm really glad I had your help because, setting up the content and the template and stuff would have been pretty confusing if I didn't have an expert to guide me. So thank you for that.
That's all right. You're welcome. If you do need any more help or want to see how to do other things like creating your own site from scratch, I've got some videos that you can have a look at as well. Or there are blog posts that I've done as well if you prefer the written word rather than videos.
All right, great. And then, that wraps it up for me. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm ready to get started.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy it. If you do have any questions on how to use it, feel free. You've got me on Slack anyway, so if you need any help, get in touch. Or if you're watching this video and you want any help, you can comment on the video lower down, or on any of the other videos if you want help with those. Yeah, make sure you check out Coding Blocks podcast as well.
Yep.
Get some good tips about .NET and other, not just .NET nowadays, is it?
Yeah, we've expanded a little bit, but I might be talking about Umbraco a little bit more now.
Yeah, good.